Random thoughts. In this video, I'm going to read part of C.W. Hobley's book, Bantu Beliefs and Magic. And in this part, he talks about the eclipses, the lunar and the solar eclipses, and the traditions and practices and rituals that would be done. And I found this to be very interesting, especially after there was a lunar eclipse very recently, a few weeks ago. And I came to this part, I was like, this seems like an interesting part. So he says the curious customs to be common to all the Akamba people. Eclipses. These are said to be the work of Engai, or the high god, and to be an omen of sickness in the land. The head of each village has to take 2 children and a goat, which is led around the outside of the village, and when it reaches the gate, an elder cuts a piece out of one ear and let the animal return to the village. According to the Akamba, going by what Hobley writes, is that they thought that the eclipses, whether lunar or solar eclipse, was of course the work of Engai, or the work of God, and to them it was a bad omen. It was an omen about sickness in the land, and they needed to do something about that. And the way they remedied that issue is to have the head of the village, which I think is the head of the family, each homestead, the head of the family, will do some symbol ritual. Seems like it was a symbol ritual. They will take 2 children and a goat, and they will go outside the compound with the goat and the 2 children. And once outside, he will take the goat, cut a piece of its ear, and then let the goat come back into the compound. And he continues to say, they then smear it with Ia, Kamba, Ira, Kikuyu, or with white earth on its face, along its stomach, and along the back to the tail. So that then ended the ritual. That's all that was needed to be done. Seems like that solved the problem. And seems like he's implying that this ritual was also done by the Akikuyu. Seems like, I might be wrong, I might be misreading, because he gives the smear in the name of the Akamba and the name of the Akikuyu. But then he goes ahead and explains about specifically lunar changes. I think the eclipses could be, if the Akikuyu used to do something about it, and I'm interested to hear from people who know these things, then maybe they did it regarding the solar eclipse. Then he talks about the lunar changes. The Akikuyu people have no theories as to the nature of the sun or moon, but believe that the sun and the moon are constantly at war with each other, and that the moon is always beaten and driven away. After a time, she regains her strength and returns to the fight. So that's what the Akikuyu believed about what happened between the sun and the moon. And of course, I guess that explains the solar and the lunar eclipse. At least that's what they understood, which we can say is actually accurate to some extent, because the eclipses are basically the competition between the sun and the moon, because during the lunar eclipse, then the sun hides from the moon, and during the solar eclipse, the moon, of course, cuts off the sun from reaching Earth. So we can say it's some form of fight between them. So I don't think this was metaphorical, of course, and the metaphor is not, we can't say the metaphor is wrong, we can say it's accurate. Yeah, so that's what he writes about the beliefs of the Akamba and the Akikuyu about the eclipses. Those are my random thoughts.